Hari Jaya Giri Madanga and this quick. Cartel, closer, I can hear. Paramahamsa Privjakacharya Astotar Titashi Shrimad Nitya Lila Pravisna Om His Divine Grace Shila Abai Charanara Vinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj ISKCON's BBD founder Acharya Jagadguru Bhattita Bhavana Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Govinda Deva Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Govinda Shri Shri Radha New York Ishvar New York Yatra Dham Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Haribol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanandi Haribol. Thank you very much. Is this like having this in front of my face? You want to? We're in verse 6 today, right? Maitreya Uvacha. My understanding, and I've done throughout my devotional life, is I chant each each word one at a time at the beginning. And that helps us to get more of a feel. And then we chant each verse of the 4 or 6, whatever it might be, once, 3 times. Okay? More helpful for everybody's comprehension. Tada Sarvani Bhutani Shrutva Midhustamoditam. You can even look in the word for word, and like big long words like this are broken in half a lot of the times, which makes it even more easy. Paristusta. And actually, each word has its own translation. So when it's put together, it's a it's double meaning. So it's good to start with as bare and separate and basic as it is. Then you go up. Atmabi, Tata, Sadhu Sadhu, Iti, Ata Abruvam, Maitreya Uvacha, Tada Sarvani Bhutani, Shrutva Midustamoditam, Pratitustatmabhistata, Sadhu Sadhaviti, Sadhu Sadhu Iti Atabruvan, Maitreya Uvacha, Tada Sarvani Bhutani, Shrutva Midustamoditam, Paritustatmabhistata, Sadhu Sadhu Iti Atabruvan, Maitreya Uvacha, Tada Sarvani Bhutani, Shrutva Midustamoditam, Pratistutamabhistata, Sadhu Sadhu Iti Atabruvan. Oh, let's see. Is there one in here? I need a Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. I got. Give me some like there's some few temple cards there. I need bookmark. There's others over there on the left. Give me. Good. Give me the table. 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 Behind the thing. Everybody take a turn. Ladies, please. Maitreya Uvacha, the sage Maitreya said, Yada, at that time, Sarvani, all, Bhutani, personalities, Shutva, after hearing, Midustama, the best of the benefactors, benedictors, Lord Shiva. Uditam, spoken by, Paritusta, being satisfied, Atmabi, by heart and soul. Tata, my dear Vidura, sadhu, sadhu, well done, well done. Iti, thus, Ata Abruvan, as we have said. The great sage Maitreya said, my dear Vidura, all the personalities present were very much satisfied in heart and soul upon hearing the words of Lord Shiva, who was the best among the benedictors. Let's repeat. The great sage Maitreya said, my dear Vidura, all the personalities present were very much satisfied in heart and soul upon hearing the words of Lord Shiva, who was the best among the benedictors. Purport by His Divine Grace, ISKCON's founder Acharya, Jagadguru, Patitapavana, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In this verse, Lord Shiva is described as Midustama, the best of the benedictors. He is also known as Ashutosh, which indicates that he is very quickly satisfied and very quickly angered. It is said in Bhagavad Gita that less intelligent persons go to the demigods for material benedictions. In this connection, people generally go to Lord Shiva, and because he is always quickly satisfied and gives benedictions to the devotees without consideration, he is called Midustama, or the best of the benedictors. Materialistic persons are always anxious to get material profit, but they are not serious about spiritual profit. Sometimes, of course, it so happens that Lord Shiva becomes the best benedictor in spiritual life. It is said that once a poor Brahmin worshipped Lord Shiva for a benediction. So this is a very beautiful story that Srila Prabhupada has told, and because it is based on a history of Sanatana Goswami, it's been this information or this story has been for hundreds of years. Srila Bhakti Saranta must have told this story. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur, etc. So for those of you who are hearing this story for the first time, I offer you my obeisances. It is said that once a poor Brahmin worshipped Lord Shiva for a benediction, and Lord Shiva advised the devotee to go to see Sanatana Goswami. You hear Srila Prabhupada describe the glories of the Goswamis, especially or particularly Rupa and Sanatan. They were prime minister and finance minister to the government, albeit Muslim government. Very, very high position. Even Srinivasacharya glorifies them. They kicked off all high-class society association as insignificant, treating themselves as mendicants, accepting loincloths, to join the movement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But they were experiencing the highest ecstasy, Gopi Bhava Rasaritam Dilahari Kalola Magna Mohor, and always bathed repeatedly in that ever new increasing ocean of transcendental happiness. And by that, they're worthy of taking shelter of and have become the saviors of all living entities from the devouring mouth of liberation, monism, oneism, and what to speak of materialism. So here, Lord Shiva, as we know, is Gopishvara Mahadev, is very, very intimately associated with the devotees of Vrindavan. One who is given the position to be guardian of Sri Vrindavan Dham. And there'll be no mistake. Radhanath Swami tells a story when he was there, so to speak, before joining formally Prabhupada's movement. He was already a very advanced devotee, spiritualist. And Prabhupada recognized that. So when Prabhupada is visiting with his devotees after completing the New Delhi Pandal in November 1971, Prabhupada takes everyone to Vrindavan. And Prabhupada is giving darshan, holding court in his Radha Damodar quarters. And so many old Brijabasi friends and sadhus and all kinds of people are coming to see Prabhupada. So one of Prabhupada's disciples was posted as a guard. And Radhanath Swami had already been understood who he is, and he was allowed to come to all the darshans. So Krishna Das Babaji, not only of his godbrothers and his spiritual master in the Gaudiya Math organization, he was beloved. You know, in the Gaudiya Math, so much infighting and, you know, factions and people settling into different splintered camps after the disappearance of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta. But Krishna Das Babaji Maharaj could go anywhere, any one of his godbrothers, maths, and temples, and be welcomed with complete open heart. with no animal. He did no politics, no envy, no agenda. Most beloved person. So this disciple of Srila Prabhupada was posted as the guard. He didn't know. No, you cannot come. And even Radhanath Swami is appealing that, this is a beloved, he's Prabhupada's godbrother. He's the most beloved devotee of Vrindavan. And finally, Radhanath Maharaj said, please go and ask Srila Prabhupada, tell him that Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj is here. And he agreed, much to his good fortune that he did, because if he didn't. And Prabhupada said, yes, I want to see him right away. And Prabhupada, there was many people in the room, and Prabhupada was engaged in conversation. But when his beloved godbrother came, they just immediately embraced each other. And Prabhupada is sitting at his seat, and he personally took Babaji Maharaj by the hand and sat him on the seat right here, right next to him. And they just started talking intimately, and everybody in the room just was amazed, but at the same time kind of forgotten about. And slowly but surely, out of reverence and respect, everyone slowly but surely got up and left. And only Radhanath Maharaj was in the room. And he didn't understand. They're speaking in Bengali. Maharaj didn't understand. But he said, just seeing this heartfelt exchange between these two dear heart and soul friends and godbrothers, I learned so much just by watching them for 45 minutes, even though I didn't understand a word of what they were saying. So Lord Shiva is the perfect guard to let those who are qualified. He wouldn't have made the mistake of blocking Krishnadas Babaji from coming to see Maharaj. So it's very intimate knower, and devotees pray to Lord Shiva that I can gain entrance into Sri Vrindavan Dham. And in this canto, there's the most wonderful chapter 24, chanting the song sung by Lord Shiva. We spoke a verse at Mangal Arati from that chapter. I believe it's the 28th number of that chapter, that Lord Shiva is saying that those who are my devotees directly, I'm not so much favorable or pleased by them. But those who are devotees of my beloved Lord Krishna, I am very dear to them. And he personally, by his own choice, came to see the Prachetas. The etiquette is we make the effort to go see the saintly person, not that the saintly person comes to see us. So when the devotee is so elevated and so great, then even arguably a higher placed devotee or personality will want to come to see them, to be their shiksha guru, or it's instructing spiritual master, or even in that case the diksha guru. It's rare to be seen, but when it happens, it's quite noteworthy. So Lord Shiva is here, described as the best benedictor in spiritual life. And he understood that this Brahmin, he had some material desire, but he saw something in him, some spark, and he chose to send him to Sanatana Goswami. The devotee went to Sanatana Goswami and informed him that Lord Shiva had advised him to seek out the best benediction from him, Sanatana. Sanatana had a touchstone with him, which he kept with the garbage. And the Brahmin was very happy to have it. He now could get as much gold as he desired simply by touching the touchstone to iron. But after he left Sanatana Goswami, he thought, if a touchstone is the best benediction, why has Sanatana Goswami kept it with the garbage? In the 4th chapter, Bhagavad Gita, text 34, Tadvidi pranipatena parishpasena sevaya, one should approach the spiritual master and inquire from him, but in a mood of service and submission. Prabhupada says, when the spiritual master sees the genuine desire of the disciple, he automatically blesses him with spiritual knowledge. If the touchstone is the best benediction, why has Sanatana Goswami kept it with the garbage? He therefore returned and asked Sanatana Goswami, Sir, if this is the best benediction, why did you keep it in the garbage? So one has to be ready to pass the test of the spiritual master. So here comes the test. Actually, this is not the best benediction that I have to offer. But you are prepared to, but are you prepared to take the best benediction from me? The Brahmin said, Yes, sir. Lord Shiva sent me to you for the best benediction. What is the word? The best of the benedictors. Then Sanat Goswami asked him to throw the touchstone in the water nearby. There was like a pond or a lake. And then come back. So give it up. What you think is, like a, wonderful benediction. I have this touchstone. I can make gold. All right, I have something better. Do you believe me? Do you have that faith? And seeing Sanatana Goswami's lifestyle, and this person was inquisitive. You're living so detached and renounced, but you have this thing that could make you fabulously wealthy, but you're throwing it away? Mind-boggling. The poor Brahmin did so. And when he returned, Sanatana Goswami initiated him with the Hare Krishna mantra. Thus, by the benediction of Lord Shiva, the Brahmin got the association of the best devotee of Lord Krishna and was thus initiated in the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paskita Deshatarane Vanchakalpatarubhyas cha Kripasindubhya eva cha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Divyad Brindaranya Kalpa Drumadha Srimad Ratnagara Singhasana Sto Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Prasdalabi Savyamano Smarami. Great sage Maitreya said, my dear Vidura, all the personalities present were very much satisfied in heart and soul upon hearing the words of Lord Shiva, who is the best among the benedictors. The action that Lord Shiva and his followers took, as Lord Shiva has explained here, was not done out of anger, envy, or malice, but was done to correct everyone. This is a very wonderful chapter. And all the different personalities present individually will come and offer very, very, very beautiful prayers. When Lord Vishnu makes his appearance, things are being set right. Things are being put back to order. And ultimately, Daksha will come back to life, as Hansarupa was explaining yesterday, in the same conscious identity of himself, but fully cleansed of the anger and envy of Lord Shiva and being in the right position, albeit with the head of the goat. So everyone here has been, let's say, cleansed of various misconceptions and freed from various modes of material nature and raised up to a higher position. So being described here with heart and soul, they were very much satisfied in heart. The pronouncement that's being spoken here that he showed his teeth when he was like when Lord Shiva was being cursed, and therefore his teeth got knocked out. So he's not going to get his teeth back. He's going to have to chew. What is it? All the different. I mean, this is not a perfect arrangement. All these different. The demigod Pusha will be able to chew only through the teeth of his disciples. And if alone, he will have to satisfy himself by eating dough made from chickpea flour. I guess he's not going to be able to enjoy an elaborate Sunday feast anymore. So the punishment will continue. And what was said yesterday, those who had their arms cut off will have to work with the arms of the Ashvini Kumaras. And those whose hands were cut off will have to do their work with the hands of Pusha. The priest will also have to act in this matter. As for Brigu, he will have the beard from the goat's head. So when Lord Vishnu appeared, everyone with awe and reverence is paying obeisances. And that Prabhupada describes Brigu Muni in particular, the leader of the Brahmins, before he, in the verse where he's offering his prayers to Lord Vishnu. Brigu Muni was conscious of the scandalous behavior in each of every one of them. But truly, Lord Shiva is doing this out of benevolent kindness. He's not, like the Red Army when they conquer Berlin, they want to take out their vengeance on Hitler and the Nazis for what they did, and to their country, and there's no mercy and just like level. And then they created this Cold War, East Berlin, West Berlin, which continued for 40 or more years afterwards. Not like that. This is so devotee relationships should be based on heart and soul relationships. No hidden agendas, no material motivation, no envy. A simple enough or easy enough to understand formula is given by the Kumaras when they meet Maharaj Prithu, that when we meet someone who is more advanced and more qualified than us, we become envious and we want to try to belittle and tear that person down, rationalize and make excuse why they don't have to be respected or how they don't deserve the position or the respect that they have. And when we meet our contemporaries, those who are equal to us, we want to advertise ourselves as better. That just see, I'm doing this, and therefore I'm better than this person who's only doing this. And then when we meet someone who is in a junior or an inferior position, then I can lord it over them and I can just exploit them and I can, just for everything that I suffered before, now it's my turn to get my just due. Prabhupada says, this is the cause for all our troubles in the material world. So when we meet someone more advanced than us, we should be very, very eager to take their association humbly and learn from them. And when we meet our contemporaries, we should make friendship, have equal jolly relationships. And when we meet someone in a subordinate or quote unquote inferior position, which is kind of the main thing that we should be cultivating as preachers, because everyone lacking Krishna consciousness is an inferior position. And what should we do? We should have compassion upon them and do whatever it takes, do our sincerest, Prabhupada used this term, level best, which means according to time, place, person, and circumstance, which requires great intelligence based on experience, how to apply this principle to raise them to a higher position. Krishna in the 7th chapter, which Prabhupada, particularly the first verse, Takshranu, now just hear from me, his most quoted verse of Bhagavad Gita when he's speaking and giving lectures and classes on Bhagavad Gita. He personally chose to speak from the 7th canto. So this is the Bhagavad Gita is Arjuna, like this Brahmin, approaching Sanatana Goswami in a very, very humble and submissive way, recognizing his position as an authoritative representative of the absolute truth, and understanding that his attempts to try to achieve happiness or what is the best thing wasn't working for him. He must have had some realization prior to coming to Sanatana Goswami, the futility of it trying to acquire material wealth. And what to speak of is, a Brahmin means that you're worshiping Vishnu. Who is the consort of Lord Vishnu? Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. Lakshmi does not remain in a place for very long, if at all, where her husband, Lord Vishnu, is not being worshipped, adored, and respected. Just like the materialists, they're taking the consort, they're taking the energy of Vishnu and misusing it for so many things. How long can they keep it? In so many ways that the money is taken away. Ultimately, death. So he realized that. So Arjuna, now I've lost all my composure and intelligence due to miserly weakness. Please instruct me. I am your disciple. So Krishna, and also to begin with, Arjuna is his very dear friend. He's not a Vedantist. He's not this, that, the other thing, but he's the very dear friend of Krishna. So Krishna is revealing knowledge, but at the same time, from the heart. Tena Brahma Hirdaya Adikavaye. From the heart of the Lord to the heart of Lord Brahma. And you look in that beautiful chapter, the 9th chapter, answers by citing the Lord's version in the 2nd canto, the chapter Shloki. Knowledge about me is very confidential, and it must be understood from me. So Krishna is a range of subject matters in that beautiful chapter, knowledge of the absolute. Everyone knows that Bhagavad Gita, 18 chapters. The preliminary first 6 chapters are the beginning, and the confidential chapters are described by Prabhupada as like the middle, protected by the first 6 chapters and the last 6 chapters. What is the last of those middle chapters? 12, devotional service. So after describing the 4 types of bad men who never surrender unto Krishna, and then describing the 4 types of good, pious people who surrender to Krishna, and then Krishna reveals of those 4, who is the best, one who's actually the seeker. He can actually surrender unto me. And then Krishna gives his summarization of that whole thought process and revelation with the important verse 19. Bahunam janmanam ante gyanavam marm papadyate vasudeva savamati samahatma sadurlabha. After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. So that's the conclusion. Then what is verse 21? So you could say reluctantly or not so happily, but dutifully and factually, Krishna reports to us those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own nature. We say every morning or every other week, because we know Shishasana, to think that worship of the demigods, especially Brahma and Lord Shiva, is equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. When Prabhupada was challenged, isn't whoever you worship the same, you're going to get the same result? Prabhupada would say different things. One comes to mind, no. There's only one way to eat. You can't put the food here. You can't put the food here. You can't put it, use your imagination. You can only put it here, only one way. But if you do that, right, it goes to the stomach, and the stomach energizes the entire body. What is that? I think it's a Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Upakhana Upadesh story, or if not in that book, he gives the example that, and Prabhupada would tell this, that all the different parts of the body went on strike. Look at this big feast, wonderful food. It only goes in the mouth. We've got to protest this. This is a terrible thing, right? Okay, you can go on strike. And then the hand, the leg, the fingers, the toes, and et cetera, et cetera, they're all becoming very weak. Oh my God, what's happening here, And then they realize that they have to cooperate to put the food in the mouth. So this is what's happening here in the Daksha Yagna. Everyone is understanding the position of Lord Shiva and ultimately the pleasure of Lord Vishnu, which is what the sacrifice is being done for in the first place. This is a good lesson for all of us that even in the name of devotional activities, we should always be right in mind and consciousness that we're doing it for the right reason. Water is there, but if we're not focused to water the bhakti lata, we can water the nearby weeds. There's a beautiful, Lord Chaitanya is instructing Rupa Goswami, one has to protect the tender creeper, fence it all around, which means associating with devotees, where a culture of direct service to Krishna is focused and protected. Prabhupada says in one place, the Gurukul or the ashram of the spirit. Gurukul, that doesn't mean just little kids, but everyone. This temple is the Gurukul of the spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada says in one place that the ashram of the spiritual master is the ashram of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And for goodness sakes, the boss of the house, Sri Sri Radha Govinda, are here. And just like Sri Sri Radha London Ishvar, Sri Sri Radha Paris Ishvar, are there any other places where Prabhupada named the Radha Krishna deities after the city? Anyway, if you can think. But, I don't think it's too far off the mark. I'm not going to change the name of Radha Govinda, but they are Sri Sri Radha New York Ishvar. They are the supreme Ishvar and Ishvari of this desh, of this place. So Lord Shiva's instructions are being followed in the coming verses. The head of the goat is put on the beheaded body of Daksha, and he comes back to life. He sees Lord Shiva and starts offering very, very beautiful prayers. Oops. Here's one in particular. I did not know your full glories. This is Daksha speaking to Lord Shiva. And for that reason, I threw arrows of sharp words at you in the open assembly, although you did not take them into account. I was going down to hell because of my disobedience to you, who are the most respectable personality, but you took compassion upon me and saved me by awarding punishment. I request that you be pleased by your own mercy, since you cannot be satisfied, since I cannot satisfy you by my words. And just after this, Lord Narayan appeared, 8-armed on the back of Garuda. Any questions or comments on any of this subject matter to point or to this time? Uncharacteristic of myself, I stopped 7 minutes earlier.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So you explained how do we deal with different grades of people and
Yeah.
how the materialists do this, how the devotees are doing this. Of course, we know the devotees we should worship the superiors and make friends, etc. But what do we do when in our hearts we see the traces of this materialistic mentality? So we view our peers as competitors, and we envy our superiors. For example, we may have envy for even for our guru sometimes. So what do we do when we see this in our hearts? How do
I'm
we?
not sure I understand the exact specific of the question.
So when we find out that we are acting as materialists in relation with the devotees, so how do we act? How do we overcome this? What do we do?
What is verse 3 of Upadeshamrita? Can you say the English translation for everyone to hear?
One should, one should, how to say?
Somebody want to pull it up real quick? Upadeshamrita, Nectar of Instruction, verse number 3. Utsaha Nischaya Daya Tat Tat Karma Pavartana. English translation.
One should.
Read it out loud.
Okay. There are 6 principles favorable for the execution of pure devotional service. First, being enthusiastic. Second, endeavoring with confidence. Third, being patient. Fourth, acting according to regulative principles such as Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam, hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna. Fifth, abandoning the association of non-devotees. And sixth, following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. These 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of pure devotional service.
Which is the verse that's offering charitable gifts, accepting, revealing one's mind in confidence?
6
That's
4.
4. Okay, that's what I. This is anyway. I wasn't anyway. Verse 3 is good too.
It was very
Let me say something about
yeah.
in relation to your question, verse 3. Then we'll go on to verse 4. That is what Bhaktivinoda Thakur Shuddha Bhakata Charana Renu Bhajana Anu. Favorable devotional service, automatically you're in a place where there is no envy and there's no opportunity or even chance that anything unfavorable can be present. So sadhana bhakti practice leads to perfection. Hansarupa was describing yesterday that if we become slack, then doesn't matter who we are. You know, Maya. Oh no, Tulsi. What Hansarupa was saying, like, but I believe it was in Tulsi Prabhu's class. You know, it doesn't matter who you are, how big, how small, or whatever. That if you don't keep up, then. So what is verse 4?
Offering gifts in charity, accepting charitable gifts, revealing one's mind in confidence, inquiring confidentially, accepting prasada and offering prasada are the six symptoms of love shared by one devotee and another.
So instead of sharing animosity and envy, we should do that which is based on sharing love between each other. And, you know, to a degree, you know, you might not be, you know, reveal your heart in confidence. There's the discussion of from Kanishta to Madhyam to Uttam, which is very nicely, it's not just advancing to the highest position of devotional service, but simultaneous to that ascension, you become more qualified to be someone to that others can reveal their heart to you in confidence. We see in Srila Prabhupada, it's so amazing. It's just astounding. It's just like, wow. So many different personalities, thousands and thousands of disciples, and all very young, you know, inexperienced. Everyone loved him equally, and Prabhupada would settle all arguments and set everything right. One who is completely free to the tendency to criticize others. Criticize, you know, the spiritual master has to correct the disciple. Actually, tomorrow's verse gives opportunity to speak on that. But such a person in that position, what is he? He's qualified to make disciples all over the world. One should see the spiritual master as one's best friend. What do you do with your best friend? Tried and true, loyal best friend. You reveal everything. So we should take faith that we don't have to do anything different than that which has been given to us, and that will bring us to the desired perfection, which can be understood within that perfection. There's so many varieties that you could individually describe as a perfection, multi-perfection. That is the pure devotee, an ocean of transcendental mercy who is worthy to take shelter of by the entire universe. All right, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Haribol.
Ramra Prabhu ki jai.
Hare Krishna.